Hi everyone, Lolly here. Here is today's project. It's a mixed media tag, and this is the magazine that I bought that I saw the tag in where I got my inspiration. So their tag shows a couple, has a little heart hanging that says Amour, but I loved the colors, kind of that antique look to it. So I'm going to recreate this tag in my particular style that I like. And based on the things that I have here with me. I don't normally put family photos on my videos, and the black and whites that I would have wanted to use are in a tote in a storage, of course. So anyway, I took a little box and I cut the pieces out, and I didn't measure. The box was very small, so I just picked it up, just cut out the shapes there, cut out two of the dome shapes, and then just cut one in half. So I'm covering it with gesso. The idea in my mind is that this is going to look like the background, maybe like a stone wall or brick wall where the plaster is falling off. So I put the liquid texture gel on there. Say that 3 times. Sorry. And so I put that on there just for, of course, texture. I want to give it that plaster kind of look. I realized at this moment, after all that, that I had that one the wrong direction and I need to start over. So started over now with that one pointing the right direction. This is a coffee filter that once the coffee was done, I rinsed it out and I save when I can or think about them to put in my projects. So I'm going to trace the shape, but then I'm going to tear it because I don't want it to be exactly the size of the cardboard, and I want the edges to be just rough, like when they are when you tear them. So I'm going to do that on both sides and the middle, and so here we're just going to tear it. The coffee filter is pretty easy to tear. It's always hard to get something to tear exactly in the shape that you want it to when it's not just a straight line. So it took me a minute. All in all, this video was probably a little over an hour long, and that was even with me pausing for much of this. You know, you just got to work it out, and just for time's sake, I didn't film all of that for you guys to watch, but because I want it to be kind of a how-to for you, to kind of show you the process, I did leave a lot of it in, and I cut all that down to like 21 minutes or so. So here I'm doing the same thing, going to trace it, but then I'm going to tear it down and also make it smaller because I want the texture that we put in the background there, I want that to show. So for me, maybe it's going to be like a little plaster house or plaster inside an old house, something like that. The pictures that I chose that you saw in the beginning to me are like the mom, the older daughter, and the little kids, and something tragic has happened or they're all gone and these photos were found somewhere. So that's kind of my backstory there as I was creating. So, and here I'm going just to start inking up the edges. I used Vintage Photo and kind of just distressing, adding a little antique color, not only to the edges, but in the front of the cardboard as well, just to give it a more antique look. So here all 3 pieces are finally inked, and I'll be gluing or using Mod Podge to put the coffee filter on top in just a minute. I did start to sand it just to get the edges, because like this right here had kind of a little spot, wasn't exactly rounded, so just wanted to clean it up just a little bit. I also inked the coffee filter around the edges just to make a frame for the pictures when I put them down on the board. Sorry about the light there right in the middle. I didn't even notice that it was shining through there. So And normally when I wave like that, it's a note to myself to cut out the parts right about there. And somehow the hands stayed in there. So again, my apologies. Editing is not the fun part for me. Creating is the fun part, but the editing is hard because it took me a little over an hour to do this. So I want to show everybody, the whole process, but nobody wants to watch paint dry, and I completely get that. So here I'm Mod Podging, putting down the pieces to cover it up. So they do take up a lot of the space there, but you can still see the texture. When you see it in person, you can see the texture underneath. So I didn't have old photos out, but I had this scrapbook paper. I looked forever for something with faces and that matched kind of the theme that I was looking for. And that's how I ended up with my story and my pictures. It was on the sheet of paper. So on the big one, I'm tearing out the baby, and I'm going to put that in the middle. And that started my story about, what happened to this baby and where is he now? Looks like a boy. So here I'm just kind of scuffing up the edges a little bit. They're old photos, have been hanging around for a while, so they've had a little wear. And somewhere I have a tool, that you do that with. There's different kinds of tools, but you don't have to have special tools in order to do mixed media projects or tags or journals. I didn't have anything in the beginning, so I just revert to my scissors because they're always sitting right here. I never know where that little tool is. Mine is the little small one, the round one. But anyway, there's the second picture here. That's the one that I think is like the mom and the daughter. Maybe that was, I don't know, her wedding photo or graduation photo or something like that. So I'm just trying to see what size I need to make it there. And they're both kind of to one side, so I'm trying not to cut too much of what I think is mom on the left side there. And eventually I kind of tear the top just a little bit. Made me think it was like a sailboat sail when I was looking at it. But trying to size it without cutting too much of everybody off there. And again, I'm going to rough up the edges. You can curl the edge of the pictures also when you're working with old photos or even scrapbook paper or something that looks like old photos. You can scuff it up like this. You can also take a pin or a paintbrush and just curl the edges so it looks like the picture has aged and curled a little bit. So here I'm just holding the cardboard behind the paper. It's a thin scrapbook paper, so it was hard to distress. So I'm just holding the cardboard behind it. And that lasted about a second, and then I just laid it down and distressed it from there. So I'm looking to make them, kind of the sepia color, antique. And normally, whenever I can, my watercolor markers out and I add a little color to pictures. And so here I didn't do a lot. I didn't want to take away that antique look, but I always like to add a little pop of color here and there. So this blue, it's kind of I want to say a periwinkle blue. Those pins don't have names of the colors on them, which is odd, but so anyway, I just put a little blue in the flowers. I wanted to use that key. It also was on the scrapbook paper, but then I saw here that there are two other children on this page. So I went ahead and added them instead of the key. So I thought that's a really awesome key, though. I'm going to use it in a different project. So I'm just doing the same thing here, just sizing it, trying not to cut too much of the children off. And then they don't quite take up the whole side there, so I'm adding the part of the paper that had just the script on it. And so I'm just inking that up, just so it kind of matches the other side a little bit more. And So here I'm still just tearing and fitting. So I have the Tim Holtz words here. I thought about also thought about having that be, since they're chipboard, be the item that hung from the bottom. And there, just wanted to show you that I have stickers that are hinges, and I thought about using those as well, but I really liked having the metal element on the project, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with the metal. This is a sticker, and it says memories on it, and again, I just wanted to add like a pop of color that you weren't expecting, because you were expecting some antique photos. And so here, to make this more of a mixed media project, I am adding the little bird and the red memories. And then I'm just building layers. And this is a sticker also that I'm just going to place somewhere. For me, pictures talk, of course, much about time. And this was a beautiful little kind of Victorian clock, so I want to put that on there. The sticker I just put on the right side is just a little butterfly from the same sticker set, so just put that up there just for an extra layer. This is a Tim Holtz chipboard, and it says heart and soul on it, and I think that's where I'm going to put it, but I changed my mind later. So I was determined something was going to go up there above the baby, but in the end it ended up where it didn't. So I found a little sticker that says missing you, and so I put that there at the bottom on the right. And now I'm going to just start gluing the papers down, so I kind of have a good idea where I'm going. You know, it takes a little while to get your mind going in exactly the direction you want to go. I wasn't going to add these stickers and have the extra color, but if you stay true to your style and what you like, it makes the project flow much better, and you're not trying to force yourself to do something that's not normally the character of your projects. So everything's getting glued down here, and I'm putting the heart and soul under the two middle children there. So all right, so now here's the part we're waiting for. We put it together, and now we got to put the hinges. So I get these at Hobby Lobby, but they're over in the woodworking section where I get my hinges, and you get, depending on the size, several of them for like $2. So here I'm just auditioning two different kinds that I have. This one has one big piece of metal and then a smaller, and then this one is just one long skinny hinge, and in the end I end up with that one because it's more of an even look. And again, I could have used the paper ones because I'm really not going to open and close this much, but I loved having the metal detail on there. Now if you are going to close it and open it, if you make this flat where you can put it in a journal, you want to make sure that you use hinges that are thin and flat. These are pretty thin, and also you want to make sure your hinges, when you glue them down, or I tried the little screws, they didn't work. So, but make sure your hinge is folding in the right direction. These hinges needed to close completely, and they only did that in one direction. So that's how I determined which was going to be the right side up. So you can see the little screws over there. They were a little bit too long, and there wasn't much of a way to close them on the back. So I'm going to use my awl here after I've marked where the holes will be. And on the top of the screen there, you'll see what I poured out, and they are little brads, and they're all different kind of shades of metal. And so that's what I end up putting through there, which I'm really glad that I did because they're really small, and I like the way they end up looking. They match the metal of the hinge. So I was really glad that I had those. I wasn't sure what I was going to do next unless it was going to be like jump rings or something like that. So, or a piece of wire. So this was a little fiddly, getting those on there, getting them just right. I left a little bit of space in the hinges just so it could move and close. And then on the other side, I had to work, and I did lose a little bit of her. The one I call the mom was really close to the edge there. So when I put the hinge on, I tried to save her face, so the hinges might be a little bit off, but I didn't want to put the hinge right over her face. So I'm just looking for the little brads that all match so I can put them on here. And I just folded them over on the back, and again, it's just a little fiddly because everything's so small. Trying to hold everything in the right place and put those through to the back. So I haven't finished the back of this at all. You could cover it with paper or paint it before you even start the project. I thought about covering it with paper, but it was way too late, so I went ahead and just I left it like that until the end. So here I'm just measuring, making sure that my hinge closes well and I have everything in the right spot. So far, I'm liking the results and how it has come out so far. So, and here again, it's just a little bit fiddly, trying to get the hinge not to cover up mom's face and be just enough apart there so that it closes and opens well. So those little brads are tiny. So finish that there. Each hinge took 4 little brads. So here we are with the hinges on there. So at the bottom we needed to hang something because in the inspiration picture she has a heart hanging that says Amor, and I still don't really know what I want to hang from this one, but I like to hang things from my tags in general, so we'll see. I did find this in my little jewelry and metal pieces little box I have, but I really like this watch. It was a watch that I had before. It had a leather strap, and I was just determined to use it somewhere. The metal piece at the bottom with the pearl was really pretty, and I love it. It has a flower, but it's more of a silver color, and I almost left it, but that little watch sat here with me through the whole project, and it really wanted to be on this piece. So eventually I take that off, and the part that you don't see is that I fiddled forever trying to make just the right dangle to go on the piece. Here I'm just hammering in the little brads a little bit so the fitting is a little tighter. Making sure everything closes up, and then this is when I decide I'm going to go ahead and paint the back. And again, you can make this as thin. I'm using small corrugated cardboard, but if you made it just on chipboard or a thin piece of box like a cereal box or something like that, it would easily close up into a journal, and so it wouldn't be too bulky for either an art journal or a junk journal. So, and if it's your journal, you could put your pictures on there, or you could put the pictures on there to match the theme of the journal so that the recipient could put their own pictures over the top, kind of give them a placeholder and show them how to display their pictures. So here I go. This watch is going to be on this piece no matter what. So the little shiny bits I had in a box, I use them when I make like the metal dolls. And I did get the watch on there and had a piece of lace that was originally on that first dangle, and so I put that on there. So here's the piece completed. The dangle, everything's on there, and then I wanted to put a picture hanger on the back. I didn't have that, but I did have this clip that has a little hook on it, and that's how I'm going to hang it on the wall. I'm not going to put mine in a journal, even though it's a tag, I'm going to hang mine on the wall here in my craft room. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were inspired by this project. I love it. There's a million and one ways that you could create this and redo this project. I think I'm going to do it another time with a couple of ideas that I had in mind as well. So, but I think it would look really nice inside of a journal. You could close it up and then have that little hidden compartment there with the picture, or to journal inside of it, something like that. You could put the dates on here if it was a family vacation or something like that. So again, here's the inspiration. I don't know how big theirs are. It doesn't say, but anyway, it's probably not too big. Again, this one came out to be 6 by 7.5, but that's a really good size because I am going to hang it on the wall. So yay for me, I finally finished it. Oh, it took me a lot of fuss and complaining through a few parts of it, but you know, when you try something new, you learn new, and the next time it'll be easier. So, but I'm happy with it. I really like it. I already have it hanging on the wall, and I like the way it looks. So thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it. Again, I hope that you were inspired, and I hope that while you were watching it, your mind was saying, oh, but I like pink and I like blue, and I'm going to do it like this, and I'm going to add some flowers. I think adding brighter colors and some flowers would be beautiful as well. So you guys take care. I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.